Welcome back, fellow journeying souls, to Soul's Journey. And I'm trying to do a little catch up with Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot 2020 challenge. So I'm kind of skipping day 9 because I don't really remember readings after I do them. It's like once I get done, my brain just kind of jettisons whatever it was that I told them. The only thing I can remember one from the previous year. Most of my readings are done via email, and so I don't always get a lot of feedback. But with this one I did, and she had kind of given me a sort of vague question about, just kind of wanted a year ahead, and so I did the best I could based on that and sent it to her, and she's like, well, that's not really what I was looking for, I kind of wanted to know about X rather than Y, and I said, okay, fine. She had already paid me, and she's a repeat customer, and she pays well, so I thought, all right, I'll do another reading for her when I have time. And time passed, and it was like 3 months later before I actually got around to doing this other reading for her. And I guess I sent it off to her, and I hadn't heard anything from her in the meantime. And as soon as I sent this new reading to her, she comes back with, oh, you know what? That first reading you did for me was spot on. It was exactly what I needed. It was just, it talked about everything that was going to happen. And I was like, oh, okay. So, yeah. A lot of times they don't know what they want, and you give it to them, and they think they want something else, and what are you going to do? So anyway, on to day 10. Share some of your tarot decks that have been lost in your collection and you want to reconnect with. Okay, so let me get these out of the way for the moment. I was going through all these decks this morning trying to find High Priestess cards that I wanted to showcase. And I ran across this one that I haven't looked at in a really long time. Silver Era Tarot by Anya Khan, author Russell J. Moon. And I don't know how many of you guys have seen this deck. I don't see a lot of talk about it. This came out a few years ago from Schiffer. Let me see if I can find the date. I don't even remember. 2010. Okay. So that's probably why there isn't a lot of chatter about it. But you can see it's very glossy, as Schiffer is wont to be. Actually, let's kill that, see if that helps. All the cards are very black and white, except for they usually have one little splotch of color somewhere. And all the women in the deck, I believe, are Anya Khan, the artist. And when I first got it, I was kind of like, eh. I mean, it was cool, but I didn't really work with it much. So like here, it's mostly black and white, but you can see the shirt that she's wearing has kind of this soft green color to it. And as I was going through it, looking for the High Priestess card this morning, I thought, this really is cool. I should work with this more. You can see the lemniscate above her head is blue. Kind of a cool strength card. I gotta get my glasses off. I can't see, it's too close. And the Hermit's Lantern. It's the only thing that's lit up. The Pentacles, you can see, are green. So this is one that I think I would like to spend more time working with this year. It's a little weird that all the women are her, and I guess Russell Moon, I don't know if that's her partner, is all the men in the deck. But it's a pretty deck. Very nice imagery. And the only color on this one, you can see her lips. Come on. I don't know why it won't focus this morning. His robe is like bluish. So that's one. Get that out of the way here. It's got the like magnetic closure box at the tab. It does close pretty securely, but again, it's got these, you know, one of these sort of hokey little cardboard things inside to hold the cards in place so they could fit the book in. Alright, I'll play with that later. And then another one that I ran across that I haven't actually looked at for a very long time, the New Century Tarot. It's a kind of surrealistic art. I'm not an artist, I don't really know what the terms would be. It's very colorful. These dark purple borders, they're coming out awfully light on camera here, but it's a pretty rich purple color. So we'll find some more interesting cards. Well, pips are kind of pippish. So maybe that's why this deck never got too popular. That's very pretty. That's another one I wouldn't mind spending a little more time with. And if I was honest, I could, you know, do this all day. I have so many decks. And then this is a very cool one that I found on eBay. And I think you can still buy this, and you have to go to the shop's website to get it. And this is the only deck I have ever modded, and I put blue on the borders. But the court cards have both king and queen on them. It is pips. So these are, oops, big cards too, very large. They're, oh my goodness, I'm not sure how big they are. And on our handy dandy ruler, let's see. So it's like 3 3/4 by almost 5 3/4. So yeah, good size cards. So a lot of people probably won't like them. Plus the corners are still square. She's got Ogham and astrology and runes on them. It did not come with, this is very cool. Let me see, I can't even read it. Oh my god. The titles are teeny tiny print, like here has the number, and I still can't read it. And here's the Empress. I'm not sure which one this is, if it's, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Oops, I'll clip my mic back on. So this actually is the Moon card, which is very nice. That overhead light is starting to get on my nerves. I love this card. Let's see if I can read which one this is. I believe that's the star card. It's very pretty. Okay, yes, this is the star card. So that's like one drawback of this deck though, is that the titles are so tiny. It's really hard to see. This is the High Priest. Magician, obviously. The Fool. This is the Strength card. Chariot. So yeah, if you don't like pip decks, you won't like this one too well. It's the World. But the art is really beautiful. That's the Wheel. So anyway, yeah, if you like that, like I said, that is, I believe it's still available through their website. And I was supposed to get a PDF, or it may have come with some sheets that explained the deck as far as the runes and whatnot, but I only got one of them, and then she emailed the other one to me, and it got lost on my computer, and so I may have to contact her for another one. And then another deck that I like a lot that I would like to spend more time with is the Nigel Jackson. This is out of print, but I found mine used on eBay a few years back. It does come with this nice little book. The only thing is he reverses the elements, the wands and the swords, I think, are reversed. Like swords are fire and wands are air, I think, which always kind of throws me. And you think you can just, you know, kind of go around that and read it however you want, but then the illustrations on some of the cards kind of throw you off a little bit. But I like the art very much. That's a beautiful sun. That's a sun card. Almost looks like Judgment. What are we doing here? So anyway, it's another one I would like to really pull out again and work with more. Interesting that I ended with the devil on top there. Haha. It's okay, you don't scare me. And then, because I've been pulling this out for other videos lately, I would like to start working with the Songs for the Journey Home again more. I've always liked this deck, and for some reason it just got kind of shunted aside in favor of other newer decks. You know how it is. The minute you get a new deck, everything else gets forgotten about, and you start playing with the new one. It's very pretty. I think I mentioned this is the only round deck in my collection. You got wind songs, flame songs. What else? Wave songs. Come on. Here we go. Okay, so we won't belabor that too much since I've had that out a fair bit lately. Not to work with, but just for other things. And then I think that's, oh, just one other I was going to mention is my Sacred Rose. I've had this for ages and just really haven't worked with it much lately. But I always loved it. So I want to get these back out and start working with them more. All these lovely decks that have almost been forgotten about. I know a lot of people are weirded out by the eyes on some of these cards. It's like they're just, people draw them in and stuff, but I don't know. It is what it is. I'm not that hypercritical of decks. It doesn't bother me. It is what it is. And then I think that's it for that. And then I wanted to get on to today's prompt, which is favorite depictions or depiction of the High Priestess, which is what led me to digging through all my decks. So this one obviously from the Crow Tarot. I'm just gonna, and Sacred Rose, Songs from the Journey Home. This is really a top contender for favorite High Priestess depiction. I ultimately decided it's either number 2 or it's like neck and neck with number 1, Baroque Bohemian Cats. This is from the Le Beau Monde. Here's the Nigel Jackson High Priestess. I had to go through them all and look at them because I could not decide. You know, I had a pretty good idea of which one I was going to say was my all-time favorite, but I wanted to give them all a chance to campaign for being number 1. It's from the 21st Century Tarot that we looked at that I wanted to go back through. It's the Mystical Tarot that just came out, I think, this year, which is kind of a cool depiction. The Silver Era. God, why won't this thing focus? You can see she's got little splashes of purple. That's a pretty cool High Priestess card. Kathy McClellan's Star Tarot High Priestess. And I am going to get the new one, which is going to be borderless. And I think a little bit larger. The High Priestess from the Wicca Moon. Isn't she beautiful? And then I had to look at the Star Child and the Moon Child. Or, sorry, that was backwards. This is Moonchild, this is Starchild. And then the Ancestral Path. And the new Whispering Spirits from Joanna Nelson. The Ethereal Visions. The Connolly. This is the Thelema Tarot. I just, you know, this is from the Universal Weight. This is the Light Gray Tarot from Light Gray Art Labs. This is from the Ibis Tarot. You know, there's just so many great High Priestess cards. This is one of the decks I got from Yves Renaud. This was the majors only version of the reconstructed Conver deck. And of course, Alice is a contender, my Baba Studio deck. And this is the first edition, I think? Yeah. And the 78 Tarot Mythical, which is a very cool, very different High Priestess. Very Art Deco. This is from the Orphans Tarot, or the Orphan Tarot by Yoshio Lorenzo. I hope I said that right. Really like her. I'm still hoping he's going to do a full 78 card deck, but I don't know. Tarot of the She by Emily Carding. This is the version, this was a majors only version that was done by Adam McLean many years ago. Influence of the Angels. Come on. There we go. That's so beautiful. The 5 Cent Tarot, the new one from Madame Clara. I really like that. Tarot of Vampires by Ian Daniels. These were all the decks that I considered, and I adore them. This is from the new 78 Tarot Elemental. And ultimately, I'm still going to go with my Robin Wood High Priestess. She is like, she was the first really pagan High Priestess card I ever saw. And I just went nuts when I saw it, and it's what made me fall in love with this deck, and I still love it. And so I'm going to say that is my absolute favorite High Priestess card still. With all these other decks that I have, I still love this so much. Okay, so we finally got to the bottom of that pile. And let's see, what else? Divination tool, this is for day 12, would be tomorrow. Divination tool outside the tarot that you used most in 2019. That's easy. I really don't. I don't have any other divination tools. I got that crystal ball for Christmas, but I haven't really used it yet. And it certainly wouldn't qualify as most used 2019 anyway. So yeah, tarot is pretty much it for me. So now I get to go put all these back in their boxes. And put all the boxes back away. Yeah, I'll do a separate video for the other questions because they're going to take too long, and I haven't even thought about them yet. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon, and blessed be.